She said, "I can't be trapped here just because you have the flu. Stop being so needy and making me feel guilty." I just nodded. When she finally came home 2 days later, she found my mom making me soup. All of her things were already packed by the door. I, 20 male, am sitting here still processing what just happened. Been with Jessica, 26, for 3 years. Living together for the last 18 months in my apartment. Thought we were solid. Guess the flu showed me otherwise. Started feeling like garbage last Thursday. You know the drill. Fever, chills, couldn't keep anything down. Called in sick to work Friday. Jessica seemed annoyed when I asked her to grab me some Gatorade on her way home. She got it, but there was this edge to everything she did. Dropped the bag on the counter instead of bringing it to me. Sighed loudly when I asked for help getting to the bathroom. Saturday morning was when it all went sideways. I'd been up all night, alternating between freezing and burning up. Asked her if she could stay home that day, maybe make me some soup or just be there. I rarely get sick, maybe once every couple years, so this wasn't some pattern. That's when she said it. Standing in our bedroom doorway, designer purse already on her shoulder. "I can't be trapped here just because you have the flu. Stop being so needy and making me feel guilty. I have plans with Brianna and the girls. You're an adult, figure it out." I just nodded, didn't have the energy to argue. She left within 5 minutes. The thing is, she wasn't wrong about one thing. I am an adult. And adults make decisions based on who shows up when things get hard. Called my mom. She drove an hour and a half to come take care of me. No questions, no complaints. Just, "I'll be right there, sweetie." While she was making me her famous chicken soup Sunday afternoon, I made a decision. Asked Mom to help me pack Jessica's stuff. We carefully boxed everything, her clothes, her books, her fancy skincare collection that takes up most of the bathroom counter. All of it. Labeled each box clearly, set them neatly by the door. Jessica had been radio silent all weekend. Not a single text asking how I was. Her Instagram stories showed her at brunch at some rooftop bar, having the time of her life. She finally rolled in Monday evening around 7 p.m. I was on the couch, finally keeping down solid food, Mom stirring something in the kitchen, the look on her face when she saw the boxes. Then saw my mom. What's going on?" she asked. "Mom's taking care of me," I said simply. "Your stuff is ready to go." "My stuff? What are you talking about?" "You were right. You shouldn't be trapped here, so you're not." She laughed, actually laughed. "Are you seriously breaking up with me because I went out? This is insane." "No, I'm ending this because when I needed you, really needed you for the first time in 3 years, you called me needy and left. Mom drove over an hour without me even asking her to stay. That's the difference. This is so dramatic. It's just the flu." "Exactly. It's just the flu. Not cancer, not a car accident, just the flu. And you couldn't be bothered. What happens when it's something worse?" She tried arguing, then got mean, then tried crying. Mom just kept stirring her soup, tap occasionally humming. That seemed to piss Jessica off more than anything. "Where am I supposed to go?" she demanded. "Brianna's? Your parents? That's not my problem anymore." She called me pathetic, said her friends were right about me being a mama's boy. Mom finally spoke up. "Better a mama's boy than whatever you are, sweetheart." Jessica loaded her boxes into her car in angry silence, took her 3 trips, slammed the door on her way out. Mom stayed 2 more days until I was back on my feet. Made enough soup to freeze for later. Even cleaned my apartment top to bottom. When she left, she just hugged me and said, "You deserve someone who shows up." Sitting here now, feeling almost human again. Jessica's been blowing up my phone, but I haven't read any of it. Just watching her texts pile up while I eat leftover soup. Did I overreact? Maybe. But when someone shows you who they are when you're at your worst, believe them. Update 1. Holy hell, the entitlement is real. Thanks for all the comments on my original post. To answer some questions. Yes, the lease is only in my name. No, she never paid rent. She covered groceries and some utilities. And yes, I've changed the locks. So Jessica's bombardment started subtle. First wave was the apologetic texts. I was stressed about work. You know I don't handle sick people well. Can we talk like adults? When I didn't respond, she escalated. Started calling my phone continuously. I'm talking back-to-back calls for an hour straight Tuesday night. Finally blocked her number. Wednesday she showed up at my apartment. Started sweet-talking through the door. Baby, I know you're in there. Please, let's talk. I made a mistake. When I didn't answer, she switched tactics. Started yelling about her rights, how she lived there, how I couldn't just kick her out. My neighbor Dimitri came out and told her to shut up or he'd call the cops. She left, but not before screaming that this wasn't over. Then came the proxy war. Her mom, Darlene, started texting me. Woman barely acknowledged my existence for 3 years. Suddenly I'm getting novels about how Jessica is devastated and learned her lesson. Apparently, Jessica told her family I kicked her out for no reason during a mental breakdown from being sick. Didn't mention the whole abandoning me while sick part. I sent Darlene one message. Jessica left me alone with 103-degree fever because brunch was more important. That's all you need to know. Then blocked her too. But here's where it gets good. Yesterday, Jessica showed up at my office. With a sob story for our receptionist about needing to give me important documents. Receptionist called me. I came down to the lobby. Jessica was there in full makeup, wearing this dress she knows I used to love. Had this whole performance ready. Can we please just talk? I know I messed up, but throwing away 3 years over one mistake is crazy. One mistake? I kept my voice level. You left me when I was sick. That's not a mistake, that's a character reveal. Oh my God, you're acting like I left you dying. It was the flu, right? The flu. And you couldn't be trapped taking care of me. Your words. She shifted tactics again. You know what? Fine. But I want compensation for everything I put into this relationship. 3 years of my life helping with your apartment. Helping with my apartment? You mean living rent-free while I covered everything major? I bought groceries. And I paid rent, insurance, internet, repairs, furniture. You want to itemize 3 years? Let's do it. She turned red. I'll take you to court. For what? Breaking up with you? Good luck with that. The security guard started walking over, probably because her voice was getting shrill. She saw him and grabbed my arm. You're gonna regret this. You think you're such a good guy? You're just a pathetic loser who needs his mommy to take care of him. And yet you're the one begging to come back to this pathetic loser. Weird how that works. She stormed out. But she wasn't done. Oh no. Last night around 10 p.m., heard a commotion outside. Look out my window. Jessica's out there with a freaking U-Haul and 2 guys I don't recognize. She's trying to get into the building, telling them I have her furniture inside. Called the cops, told them my ex was trying to break in with 2 unknown men. They showed up fast. Jessica tried spinning some story about retrieving her property. Cops asked her for proof she lived there. She couldn't provide any. No mail, no lease, nothing official, because everything was in my name. One cop asked me if she had any property inside. I said I'd packed and returned everything that was hers. Which was true. The furniture? I have receipts for all of it. All purchased by me before she moved in. She lost it. Started screaming about how I was stealing from her, how they were corrupt, how everyone was against her. The cops told her to leave or get arrested for disturbance and attempted unlawful entry. One of the guys with her, turns out it was her cousin Rick, tried to get tough. This is bullshit, man. You can't just steal her stuff. Cop shut that down quick. Sir, step back. Now. They left, but Jessica screamed out the U-Haul window that she'd destroy me, that everyone would know what kind of person I am. Dimitri was watching from his balcony, gave me a thumbs up when they drove away. This morning, I got a call from my landlord. Jessica had called the property management company claiming she was an illegally evicted tenant. Landlord laughed when I explained the situation. He knew she was never on the lease, has all the documentation showing I'm the sole tenant. Told me to let him know if she keeps harassing me. The entitlement is staggering. She really thought she could just come and go as she pleased, treat me like garbage when I'm sick, and face 0 consequences. Now she's spinning out because for once someone held her accountable. My mom called to check on me this morning, told her about the latest drama. Her response? Trash taking itself out, honey. You focus on healing. Starting to think I dodged a major bullet here. Update 2. This has escalated to levels I didn't think possible. Like I knew Jessica was entitled, but this is next level. Started with her social media campaign. She posted this long thing on Facebook about emotional abuse, gaslighting, and being thrown out on the street with nothing. Tagged a bunch of mutual friends. The narrative? I'm an unstable mama's boy who had a breakdown and made her homeless. Some people bought it. Got messages from casual acquaintances asking if I was okay mentally. But here's the thing, our close mutual friends knew better. Her best friend Brianna actually messaged me privately. Hey, just so you know, I told her she was wrong for leaving you when you were sick. She laughed about it at brunch that Saturday, said you were being a baby. I'm not getting involved, but thought you should know, not everyone believes her story. Screenshot that immediately. Then came Thursday. I'm at work, get a call from my credit card company about suspicious charges. Someone tried to use my card number for an online shopping spree. Almost $3,000 worth of designer clothes and shoes. The shipping address? Brianna's apartment, where Jessica's staying. Credit card company reversed the charges, canceled the card, opened a fraud investigation. I filed a police report. When I told them about my ex and the recent breakup, the officer said this was more common than you'd think. But the real kicker came Friday night. My phone starts blowing up with texts from random numbers. Turns out Jessica posted my phone number on some sketchy Craigslist ads. Free pitbull puppies. PS5 for $50 first come, that kind of thing. Had over 200 texts and calls in 2 hours. That was it. Called my lawyer friend Tommy. He said I had enough for a restraining order and possibly criminal charges for the credit card fraud and harassment. Saturday morning, Jessica showed up again. But this time, she brought her dad, Frank. Never liked me, one of those guys who thinks his daughter walks on water. Frank starts banging on my door. Open up, we need to talk man to man. I called through the door. I have nothing to say, please leave. My daughter deserves better than this. You're going to make this right. Your daughter left me alone with a 103-degree fever. I owe her nothing. She made a mistake. You're destroying her life over nothing. I recorded all of this on my phone, by the way. Frank, she committed credit card fraud and is harassing me. I'm filing a restraining order Monday. If you don't leave, I'm calling the cops now. Silence for a moment. Then Jessica's voice. You have no proof I did anything with your credit card. There it was. Admission she knew about it. On recording. Actually, the fraud department traced the IP address. But thanks for confirming you knew about it. Frank started yelling about lawsuits, but they left when I said I was calling 911. Monday I filed for the restraining order. Submitted the recordings, the credit card fraud report, screenshots of the Craigslist harassment, everything. Judge granted a temporary order immediately, hearing set for 2 weeks out. Jessica was served Tuesday, and that's when she made her biggest mistake. She violated the order within 24 hours. Showed up at my gym Wednesday morning. Didn't approach me directly, but stood where I could see her, just staring. I documented it, informed the gym staff, and called my lawyer. But here's the beautiful part. My gym has cameras everywhere. Crystal clear footage of her showing up after being served with the restraining order. Tommy says this is a criminal violation. She could face actual jail time. Her dad called me from a different number Thursday. Stupid, since I recognized his voice immediately. You need to drop this. Jessica's facing criminal charges over a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? She committed fraud and violated a restraining order. She's a young woman with her whole life ahead of her. You're ruining her future. She ruined her own future when she decided to commit crimes instead of accepting a breakup. I'll make your life hell. That's a threat, Frank. This call is being recorded. Would you like to repeat that? He hung up. Yesterday found out through the grapevine that Jessica got fired from her job. Apparently they found out about the pending criminal charges and decided she was a liability. She worked in accounting. Yeah, credit card fraud doesn't look great for someone handling financial data. And the karma train keeps rolling. Brianna kicked her out after the cops showed up about the fraudulent deliveries. Apparently having police at her door asking about stolen credit cards was Brianna's limit. Last I heard, Jessica's back living with her parents, facing criminal charges for fraud and violating a restraining order. Lost her job, her friend group is distancing themselves, and she's probably going to have a record, all because she couldn't be bothered to take care of her boyfriend with the flu. My mom sent me a text yesterday. How you doing, sweetie? Better every day, Mom. Good, you deserve peace. Final update. Court happened. Time to wrap this insane story up. The restraining order hearing was first. Jessica showed up with a lawyer. Guess Daddy paid for that. She tried to paint me as vindictive, claimed the gym thing was a coincidence, that she had a membership there for years. My lawyer destroyed that pretty quick. Pulled up her gym membership history. She'd joined the day before, showing up when I was there. One day after being served, the judge wasn't amused. Restraining order granted. 2 years, no contact, stay 500 feet away. The criminal charges were another story. The credit card fraud was harder to prove definitively, even with IP addresses. Her lawyer argued it could have been anyone at that location. The DA offered her a plea deal. Misdemeanor attempted fraud, probation, restitution for my costs, and community service. She took it, but violating the restraining order? That stuck. She got 30 days in jail, suspended to time served. She spent 3 days in jail after the arrest, plus 2 years probation. Violation of probation means serving the full 30 days. The best part? Her dad Frank got himself arrested. Remember that threatening phone call? Well, he didn't stop there. Started driving by my apartment building, leaving aggressive notes on my car. All caught on the building's security cameras. He's now facing harassment charges and his own restraining order. Jessica's life has essentially imploded. Criminal record means she can't work in accounting anymore. Had to move back to her hometown 3 hours away. Part of her probation terms, she has to stay out of my county except for court appearances. Her social media is gone, either deleted or made private. Brianna reached out one last time to tell me Jessica had been telling people I set her up and ruined her life on purpose. But even her own friends aren't buying it anymore. Apparently, the story kept changing. First I was abusive, then I was mentally ill, then I was cheating, then I had planned the whole thing. People started comparing notes and realized nothing added up. Through all this, I've been going to therapy, not because of trauma or anything, but just to process how I missed so many red flags. My therapist pointed out something interesting. I kept making excuses for her behavior because I was comparing it to normal relationship conflicts. But this wasn't about normal conflicts. It was about basic human decency. Started dating again last week. Nothing serious, just coffee with a girl from my hiking group. She asked about my last relationship. I just said it ended when I realized we had different values. She laughed and said, "That's diplomatic." When I got home from that coffee date, my mom had left me a voicemail. Just checking in, seeing how I was doing. Realized that's what care looks like. No conditions, no drama, just showing up. Jessica taught me something valuable, though I doubt she meant to. She taught me that when someone tells you who they are, whether through words or actions, believe them the first time. Don't wait for the fever to break to see clearly. To everyone asking if I regret ending it over just the flu. No, it wasn't about the flu. It was about abandonment, entitlement, and basic human compassion. The flu just revealed what was already there. My apartment is peaceful now. No more walking on eggshells, no more drama, no more wondering if I'm asking too much by expecting basic care. Just me, my health, and the knowledge that I chose my own well-being over someone else's comfort. Best decision I ever made while running a fever. Oh, and for those wondering, my mom's chicken soup recipe? She finally taught me how to make it myself. Turns out the secret ingredient was just love and giving a damn. Who knew? Jessica, if you're reading this from your childhood bedroom, your stuff didn't accidentally get left behind. That throw pillow you loved, the one your grandmother made? Check the bottom of box 3. I may have ended things, but I'm not a monster, unlike some people. Peace out, Reddit. Time to live my boring, drama-free life. And honestly, it's amazing.